Well, hello BookTube, hello book friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel and another video. If you've watched my most recent weekly wrap up, you will know that I finished reading The Count of Monte Cristo. And I said in that video that rather than talk about the book there, I would do a separate video. So that's what this video is about. Talk about Alexandre Dumas' The Count of Monte Cristo, which this is the first time that I have read this book. My copy comes in at 1462 pages, so it is a fairly chunky read, and it's taken me about a month to read, and I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It's difficult to kind of describe how much I enjoyed it. I think because it was spread out over such a long period of time, that both enhanced and hampered my enjoyment. I really wanted to kind of find out what happens next, and the way Dumas writes the book, it's a he doesn't scrimp or save on what the characters are doing, or the length of time that the story involves. If you don't know the story, perhaps a quick plot summary. And I don't think I don't want to call this a review. I think this is just my thoughts. So it will contain inevitably spoilers. So if you haven't read this book and you are thinking you might want to read it, then beware, spoilers ahead. So Edmond Dantes is a first officer on a sailing ship, and is promoted to captain by virtue of the captain passing away on the last voyage. And he returns to his home port in Marseille, I think. And as a result of some jealous colleagues, close friends of the family, and a slightly, I'm going to say corrupt prosecutor, ends up being incarcerated for basically a crime he didn't commit. And he spends the next 14 years in a prison that is kind of thought to be inescapable, and not the nicest place in the world to be locked up. Ultimately, he manages to escape with the help of a fellow prisoner who he meets as a result of trying to dig a tunnel out of his cell, and finds that the fellow prisoner is also trying to do the same thing. They collaborate, but right before they are planning their joint escape, his fellow prisoner dies. Before he dies, however, he has told Edmund the secret of where his fortune is hidden. And when Edmund escapes, he goes to that place, the island of Monte Cristo, discovers that the fortune does exist, and at the big quest of his friend, he takes the fortune for his own, with his friend's blessing. He then sets out to right the wrongs that he has been done. So as a result of being sent to prison, he has obviously lost his freedom for the last 14 years. He's lost his job. He's lost his fiance, and has had 14 years of hell, really, to be fair. To say that then this is a story of revenge or vengeance is not necessarily true, because one of the very first things he does is rights wrongs that have happened to his former boss. His former boss, who had promoted him to captain before he was incarcerated, has fallen on hard times. Edmund, now the Count of Monte Cristo, has the financial means to set that right, and he does that. But the revenge or vengeance, as it is written, is told through a series of disguises and nom de plumes that Edmund creates, as well as the Count, and it's just very cleverly done. There are tales of love, revenge. He supports the son of his former boss and helps him in getting with the woman that he loves but can't have because she is promised to another who she doesn't love. There's so much going on in the story. There's so many parts to it. I mean, in effect, he is really trying to seek vengeance on four people. Some of that is as a result of pure jealousy in their views on why he was promoted over them. And some of it is, as I say, because the corruption of a particular prosecutor was such that he didn't want his father to come under suspicion of committing crime or crimes. So it's very kind of, although some people did the wrong thing, they did it thinking they were doing it for the right reasons. Although that turns out to be, in some cases, that the people they were trying to protect become central characters in the story. And I really could kind of gush about this book, and I'm going to try not to do that, because it is a wonderful story, well told, with beautiful characters. Um, you know, Edmund could have got out of prison, got hold of a sword, and gone and killed a whole lot of people, but he didn't do that. He didn't seek vengeance in that way. He sought vengeance that was on a par with what he'd suffered, if I can put it that way. So it wasn't the pure, I'm going to kill you because you did me wrong. It is, I am going to set the record straight and put matters in order. And at the end, he doesn't get his girl, and he just, rides off into the sunset, I suppose. I've got to read this again. I'm so drawn to, and I'm so drawn now to reading more Dumas, that he's becoming a comfort read for me, which pleases me because it's classic literature, not modern literature. And yeah, so just some thoughts on the Count of Monte Cristo. If you have been, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.